Hi, everyone. So we need to talk about the fact that there is evidence of bots being used, as well as paid shills, in my opinion, when it comes to certain high-profile crimes, as well as lawsuits in the US. I was looking into the Idaho for murder case on your suggestions, and the alleged, I guess I should say, bot activity and paid shill activity really mirrors a lot of the dialogue that's been used from similar alleged bots and paid shills on the Blake Lively case. It's from people who supposedly know all about the case, but yet they support the mainstream narrative, which is not supported by evidence, by the way. The mainstream narratives in both those situations are not supported by the evidence. And these people use the most outrageous excuses to support the mainstream narratives. They're not interested in having a dialogue. They try to shut down questions being asked, and they're very aggressive to people. This kind of conversation that's been happening from, again, these alleged bots and paid shills, it's very similar between the Blake Lively case and the Idaho 4 murder case. So we need to be really conscious that this is going on, and when there are certain potential cover-ups and things like that going on, apparently the powers that be are going to use allegedly bots and paid shills to try to support their narrative and shut down conversations of what really happened or may have really happened. So it's really important that we watch out for this. And I just want to remind you guys that just because there are people who say they support a certain side does not mean that they are authentic. And it's also important to remember that in both these cases, and I believe others, the people who actually know what's going on tend to overwhelmingly not support the mainstream narrative because there's just not evidence to support it, at least as far as I know and as far as I've seen. So when you see people who supposedly know all about a certain case and they support the mainstream narrative that doesn't have evidentiary support, it needs to raise the red flag. And be aware of this kind of activity happening on all kinds of high-profile cases. It's not just the Idaho 4 and the Blake Lively case. It's a lot. And my understanding is that you can buy packages that kind of allow for this kind of bot activity and all kinds of things. There's all kinds of ways to set this up. But again, the way it's happening seems to be very similar across different situations. Let me know what you guys think.